The low end of that was 12 months. You kind of figured it might come in there. The judge decided to put him on the higher end of it, which was within the range, and I guess we got a little bit longer than we expected. But we honor, both Bob and I honor and accept the judge's verdict. It was a little disappointing for Bob in particular.
Why didn't he testify?
About Judge Kosick, about the suffering of your client. Does he have any sympathy toward all the parents of the kids that may have suffered during this?
Well, Bob Powell didn't do anything to any children. If you or any understanding of the facts of this case, the government even has alleged that Bob had no knowledge of any wrongdoing by any of the judges to any juveniles. So, I'm sure he feels bad that they went through something, but he's not responsible for any of that. That's record, and that's the government's position.
Why didn't he speak today in the court?
He submitted a letter previously to the court with his regrets and his thanks and all of the things he had to say. That's been submitted to the court and probably will be made part of a record.
Did you believe it might get probation? I know you said downward departure, possibly split verdict, split sentence, probation. You think he should have had probation?
I always believe in what I ask for. It's not always given to me. I believe that Bob Powell, because of all the things he did, was entitled to it under the guidelines. The judge differed with me. He's the judge, and he has the last say, and I respect what he said. I wouldn't be asking for anything I didn't think I deserved.
Joe, plain devil's advocate, the Judge Kosick said that he was part of this culture of corruption. He benefited from the scheme. He knew what was going on, that he had to give him the higher end of the lower sentence of 18 months. What your reaction to him saying?
Well, that's the judge's belief. I don't think that's what the government's case was. The government's case was that Bob was extorted and that he was a victim to a degree. Clearly, he allowed things to happen, but he was forced into doing it. He didn't have to do it, but he did. I think he was charged accordingly to his wrongdoing, and the judge still recognized that he was cooperative, and he brought a lot of matters to justice because of his works, and because of that, he got a significant departure still from what the guidelines were. It wasn't everything, but he still has a significant departure compared to two of the other fellows. Bob's sentence is a very good one.
Looking back in the overall scheme, though, your client's testimony, in your words, ended with 3 sitting judges now in jail. Talk about the significance of that as a lawyer and what his testimony meant, and wearing the wire, and what he put himself through to have those either guilty convictions in court or the guilty pleas by the 2 other judges.
Well, I'm doing this over 26 years now. I'm not aware of anybody who has done cooperation in here in the Middle District. Anybody who's done cooperation to the extent that Bob Powell has. Think of this. This is stuff that movies are made of. He wore a wire. He wore a wire with corrupt judges. He wore a wire in their chambers, in their courtrooms. He got them to admit their wrongdoing. It's significant. And I mean, that stuff you don't see, especially locally here, but Bob did it. He performed, and 3 former sitting judges are now in jail, 2 of them for probably the rest of their lives because of Bob Powell's efforts.
Joe, not a lot has been talked about with regard to his role in the Michael Toole case. Can you give us some more details as to what that was all about?
Well, the Toole case involved a referral fee in a case that was referred, and Bob wanted to pay his wife the referral fee, which would have been the proper thing to do, but Mike Toole demanded that it be done to him and in cash, so his wife wouldn't know about it, and he fell into his demands, and that eventually was the basis of his charges and guilty plea and his present incarceration.
So Bob wanted to pay Toole's wife?
Yes.
What was his reaction to the verdict today?
Oh, he's disappointed. I think Bob was hoping that he got something on the lower end. In the scheme of things, especially the other 2 charges, 6 months may not seem like a lot to some people, but it is for Bob. We were hoping it would be on the lower end of the guidelines, and that it may have been a sentence of a split sentence, that part of it would be incarceration and part of it in home confinement. And he was hoping for that, and I think he's a little disappointed that he didn't get it, but he has great respect for Judge Kosick. He's going to accept it like a man, like he's done everything else, and take it. But he's a bit sad.
Does he have plans post-incarceration?
Oh, don't worry about Bob Powell. Bob is a brilliant guy, extraordinarily hardworking. Bob Powell will land on his feet and be very, very successful someday.
Well, because we heard when he came out from his testimony during the trial, he says, he just wants to be a country lawyer and go back to practicing law.
Well, maybe he's out of the country now. He's down in Florida. Maybe he'll be doing some fishing doing it. But Bob's going to do all right. Don't ever worry about that.